Anchored by Oils. How are you tonight? I'm gonna wait to see who pops on. I know Lisa's gonna be around, waiting for us to get started tonight. Hope you guys had a great day. I had a great day. It was a day of chiropractic and a day of essential oils, so cannot go wrong with that. All right, so I'm just gonna wait to see who pops on with me here. Hopefully we'll get a few people in the next few minutes. If you're watching this on repeat later, why don't you go grab your favorite bottle of oil, because I like to start videos and Facebook Lives putting on my favorite oil. All right, somebody's there with me. Shoot me a comment. Thanks for the thumbs up. Oh, it's Lisa. Hi, Lisa. So, that's awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up, and I'm glad that you're here. If you hop on, shoot me a comment. Just let me know that you're here. Give me some hearts and thumbs up. Grab your favorite essential oil. Let's put on some oil tonight together. If you're like me, you might have had a long day, but it was a great day, but you still need some oils here to finish off the night. I've got Magnify Your Purpose. I'm going to start by putting on some Magnify. So you guys grab your favorite oil and put some on. If you haven't tried Magnify Your Purpose, you need to try this one. This is my go-to. It's always in my purse, so if you ever want to try it, all you have to do is ask. All right. Well, so we'll go ahead and get started. I don't do a great job of reading a lot of the questions during a Facebook Live. That's just me. But I promise if you put in any questions or comments later, I will come back and answer those for you. And we'll get everybody's questions answered. I want to keep this pretty short and brief, just so it's easy for you to watch and get as much information out of pretty quickly. But the topic is essential oils and vitaflex, and I don't think I shared, but I'm Dr. Tiffany Fernandez, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. All right, Lisa, you think we should go ahead and get started then? Give just a minute maybe. Thumbs up, okay. All right, well, before I forget at the end, because I don't want to forget, I want to give you a couple resources. If you like what you hear tonight, meaning it interests you and you want to know more than just kind of the basics that I'm going to share with you tonight, I want to give you some resources regarding essential oil, the chemistry of them, why that they work, and then why does vitaflex technique help to enhance the essential oils. So one book is The Chemistry of Essential Oils. This is Dr. David Stewart. And this book looks a little intimidating at first, but it's really easy to read. It's very easy to understand. And so don't be intimidated by that. If you really want to understand more, then I do really recommend this book. That's a really good book. Some of the things I'm going to share with you tonight actually come out of the Healing Oils of the Bible, which is a great resource as well. Same author, surprise, surprise. And then, of course, your essential oils desk reference guides are a really important resource to have. A lot of people, when they get their desk reference guides, there's certain parts we all know of those books that we tend to go towards that are going to answer some questions for us really quickly. But there's another part of your desk reference guides that available through Life Science Publishing that is really important, and it talks about vitaflex technique and the raindrop technique. Okay, so that's a great resource for you. Also, where I learned the majority of my information was from taking the Care Intensive seminar through CARE. And if you haven't heard of CARE, CARE is the Center of Aromatherapy and Research Education. you can go to their website. But we're lucky enough to have an upline platinum leader with Christy Zittel, and she's a certified care instructor, which is wonderful to have one in our own personal oily family. But I know people are going to rewatch this from all over the U.S. in different states. So you can go to CARE and you can find seminars near you. You can also contact Christy Zittel and you can find out where the next seminar is going to be. I know that there's going to be one in the Hampton Roads area, I think, in July. So that's really convenient for people here down in Virginia Beach. All right, so we got our books out of the way there, so you have some resources where to go. There is also vitaflex that we're going to talk about. I'm not really going to dive into raindrop technique, but vitaflex is a technique, a part of the raindrop technique. Young Living has the raindrop technique kit, which has all of the essential oils that you need, and you use that vitaflex technique in the raindrop. Okay, so if you haven't seen that, just so you know, that's what this looks like. And there are instructions in here on how to do that, and the vitaflex technique as well. So just a quick statement to say, you know, the FDA does not endorse or approve anything that I'm going to share with you. I'm not here to diagnose or treat any conditions, but I just want to share with you science-based information about the chemicals in essential oils, chemical constituents, and then the vitaflex technique and how they work so well together. So we know that our essential oils work amazing just by themselves, and then I'm going to share with you how the vitaflex technique works amazing by itself, but then when you add the two together, how the effect is enhanced, which is pretty cool. So also, just a little note, I always like to share that anything I'm going to share with you about the essential oils and using them as well, like this is applying to Young Living essential oils. I know this is a members group and you all have your Young Living essential oils already purchased, but I just want you to know that that's what I'm referring to as Young Living essential oils. So nothing that I say should be used for any other brand of oils. I actually forgot to put my mic back on when I got up. All right, we'll see if this helps the sound. I was going to try that for something new. So if you are newer to Young Living oils and you don't really understand what makes them different, I mean, I know that you've heard some information if you've bought them, but please go to seedtoseal.com. That's a great website where you can learn more information about what makes Young Living oils so different and why they have so many of these therapeutic chemical constituents in them that help the body in this way. So that's a great place to learn more about, you know, why to with Young Living. So I've been using oils for about 3 years. They've made an amazing difference in my life and in my family's life, in the members of my practice. And I've seen amazing changes be able to happen with essential oils, but also with raindrop and vitaflex technique, and being able to help my my patients as well, myself and my family. So what are essential oils? So we know that they're aromatic in nature. So you see my diffuser behind me. When we put essential oils in a cold water diffuser, they go into the air readily because the molecules are so small, right? And so they're aromatic, they're volatile, they can be put into the air really quickly, which also means they're small in size and they can be absorbed into the body very easily and readily. This is in contrast to some of your fatty oils, right? Like your coconut oil and your olive oil, your grapeseed oil. Those all come from the seed or the nut, typically, of a fruit or a vegetable, or of a fruit. And so they're different. They are a larger molecule, they're not aromatic, so don't do this, but if you put olive oil or coconut oil in your diffuser, you would not smell anything, it would not lift into the air, it's a heavy molecule, right? Same thing then, we talked about how easy the essential oils are absorbed into the skin very quickly because of their nature. Then a fatty oil is going to tend to sit on top of the skin and not be absorbed. Now there's other benefits to putting them on the skin, but they don't have those same chemical constituents that essential oils have, and they're also not going to be absorbed into the body as quickly. So most of our essential oils are steam distilled. Some of them are cold pressed. Our citrus oils from our Vitality line, those are going to be cold pressed. And so there's a little bit difference there, but all of them are very chemically complex. There's hundreds of different chemical compounds in those essential oils, which is why one person can put on, say, lavender, and then another person can put on lavender, and you see two completely different results from that. Correct? I think we've all, if you've been around oils even just a few weeks, you've seen that, right? There's, that's because of all those different hundreds of chemical constituents in there. They're able to do different things for different bodies. In contrast to dried herbs, so I've been using essential oils for about 3 years, but I grew up in a holistic family, and we had used dried herbs when I was growing up, and dried herbs are not as potent as essential oils, not even close, and they take a very long time to work, even if they were organic and well processed. Essential oils are so potent that sometimes it takes an entire plant to make one drop of that essential oil, and so they are way more potent, and they work very quickly in the body. So the uptake is within seconds, especially if we're smelling it aromatically, but even on the skin within seconds, and then up to about 20 minutes. So it only takes about 20 minutes for one drop of essential oil to reach throughout the whole body, okay? Okay, so just 2 seconds to geek out a little bit on the history of essential oils, because I do love this, and it's just so amazing to me. But essential oils have been used as far back as 4500 BC. We have records of them. Of course, we know of the references in Scripture. Well, some of us knows about the references in Scripture, but the Egyptians were experts with essential oils, and there are hieroglyphics on the inside of the pyramids and depicting the use of essential oils and aromatic oils, even about 100 recipes of essential oils. So people have been using these for centuries. And of course, we know there's about 200 different references in Scripture. That's where this book is really amazing for you to be able to reference. The frankincense has been estimated that was brought baby Jesus to have been of much more value than the gold that was brought, which is pretty interesting. And when I was reading a little bit about the history of the Egyptians, it's pretty neat to note when King Tut, which of course everyone knows, when they raided his tomb, the first thing that they took was not the gold, but it was the hundreds of liters of essential oils, which I think is pretty phenomenal. So essential oils have been valued for a really long time. And one other thing to note about them is think about the plant. These essential oils were the lifeblood of the plant. So if the plant was injured in some way, this is what the plant is going to use to help support itself, right? They're the lifeblood, and the chemical structure is very similar to what is found in the human body. That's pretty cool, right? So this is why when we put essential oils on our body knows what to do with them. And another neat thing to note is that essential oils don't disrupt our normal homeostasis. So it just enhances what's already there. It's not going to disrupt anything that's going on within your body. So I think that's really nice and instills a lot of confidence, right? They just support our body. So what is vitaflex then, right? So we just had like this real quick, like what's essential oils? Why are they so amazing? Why have they been used forever? People have valued them forever. Then what's this vitaflex? All right, think about the essential oils, and if you've dove into your reference guides a little bit, you've started to see that essential oils have frequencies. This might be the first time that you've ever thought about that with essential oils. As a chiropractor, it's not the first time that I thought about that, but it's so amazing to recognize that the essential oils are can support the frequency of our body. So we all have a frequency, and our frequency can change whether we are, so sorry, I got a phone call, below that wellness line. So our frequency can change, right? But the essential oils all have different frequencies, and some of them are higher than others. So essential oils are going to be supporting our body through changing that frequency, okay? vitaflex, the word comes from a phrase called meaning vitality through the reflexes. So vitaflex is all about creating electricity along those reflex systems within the body. And they already exist, you just have to tap into them, right? So that's pretty neat. And you can imagine then again why I love this so much. But vitaflex literally creates electrical currents that are going to be going along those nerve pathways, right? And do you guys know how well connected the body is? Well, we're designed so that we have vitaflex points on our hands and on the soles of our feet that correspond to different areas within the body. So I want you to go and look in your reference guides or any of the other resources I mentioned so that you can start to get to know them. I have this fun little card that I actually have had this for probably 10 years. But this is an idea, this is an example of vitaflex points. So I'm just going to show you. It's small, it was easy for me to hold up. Okay, Lisa, I'm sorry about that. So these are vitaflex points that are on the bottom of the feet that correspond with all of the different organ systems, and then you can look and see there's also ones on your hands. So I'm going to teach you what the actual vitaflex technique is, but it is creating an electrical stimulation in a very specific area to these reflex points. So you can use vitaflex by itself, right? Heaven forbid you didn't have any oils. You can use vitaflex by itself, just like we can use our oils by themselves. But then when you use these two together, it's going to help enhance it, right? So we can apply essential oils to certain areas of the body, the feet and the hands, right? And then utilize this vitaflex technique, which we're going to use our fingers in this technique to do that. It's a digital stimulation, creating that electricity that's going to help to move the impulses along those specific pathways. Okay, so I'm hoping this is making sense. Apparently we weren't able to have everybody view this at the same time, so later we will see the questions and see if you guys were able to follow along with my thought process here. Okay, so, oh good, okay, I think maybe we're able to have some more people join us. Hi Pam. So, how do we create the electrical impulses? So you're jumping in right at the point, this is great, where we're going to talk about how we actually do the vitaflex technique, okay? So we use the tips of our fingers, and I can tell you that it doesn't work well with nails. You actually, my nails are actually probably a little bit too long at the moment, coming over the tips of my fingers. But you want for comfort. This is for comfort, right? And so that the long nails don't get in the way, because we're going to be using our fingers on the skin. We'll talk about feet and hands at this point. You can use vitaflex in different areas of the body, but we'll talk about the feet and the hands for now, right? So you use these three middle fingers, and you take your fingers and you want to line them up as well as possible, right? So you're not going to be able to get them just right depending on the length of your fingers, but you want to bring the pads of the fingers right up next to each other, okay? So for definition's sake, we're going to call this the pad, and then the tip of the nail, the tip of the finger, and then the nail, okay? Because there's a little phrase that I want you to learn called pad, tip, nail, okay? So practice this with me. Take your fingers and bring them together, okay? And then put them on your other hand and put them on the pad. Put the pad down on the skin and roll up on the tip, right? So this is why you don't really want to have long nails. It wouldn't be comfortable, right? So you put the pad here, and by rolling up onto the tip of the nail, that's when you're creating the electricity. And then your nail is like an insulator, okay? So when you roll over from pad, tip, nail, then you actually are, sorry, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry people aren't able to watch live exactly the way they want to, but we'll watch it later and you guys can catch up, and I'm really sorry. Okay, so you do pad, tip, nail. As you roll over, that electricity that you've created by going from pad to tip and then over to nail is driven into the body, okay? And so it's like you're generating that energy and then you're driving it into the body. So it's a create the energy, fire, release. Those were the words that I was looking for, sorry. So pad, tip, nail. So, okay, if there was an area the size of my hand that I wanted to vitaflex, I would start on one side and I would do pad, tip, nail, and then I'd move over one fingertip and I would do pad, tip, nail. And then I'd move over another fingertip and then I'd do pad, tip, nail. Okay? It's really that simple. And you can get better at this as you move along, and you can get faster, but it's that being accurate with the pad, tip, nail, going over pad, tip, nail, that is going to be driving those electrical impulses into the body. So that can kind of be weird to think about, but think about this, right? When you were young and you had on your fuzzy bunny slippers and you went across the carpet and you generated some energy and then you touched your sibling, right? So that created some electricity. Now this does not create an electricity that you can actually feel. It's not like a static electricity that you're going to feel anything from directly besides the actual touch of the fingers. But I just want to kind of give you some visuals as you think about this energy release, so that it doesn't feel too new or weird, or but we are you know, our Creator created us with a nervous system that is run by energy and electrical impulses. And so this matches with our body so incredibly well. Think about this for a minute with, you know, did you ever walk in a room and you saw someone who was crying, like from across the room? And then, like, you feel a different way versus if you walked in a room and somebody was laughing and having a great time, right? There's an exchange of energy just walking in that room. Or the same thing if you hug someone, right? If you hug someone who is very sad, then there's an exchange of that energy versus if you're hugging someone who is really happy, right? So, thanks for the thumbs up. Did that make sense? So, I just want to make this information really relatable for you. So, and essential oils can help enhance that. And there are essential oils that if you are someone who is in the healing arts and you work with touching people, that can also help with that transfer or prevent that transfer of energy, which is super important. But this vitaflex technique works so well to create that electrical stimulus so that it's going to help enhance the benefit of the oils and put them into the body, if that makes sense. Okay, let me think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I think I mentioned you can use vitaflex by itself. You can use it with oils. The technique is a part of the raindrop technique, where you apply oils to the feet with the vitaflex technique, and then also to the spine. On the soles of the feet, it's so great to know that the big toe is the brain, and then right below that brain is your spine. So we can vitaflex right into that area, which is really amazing. Let's see. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any major points I wanted to talk to you about. I don't think so. I think that's really what I wanted to share with you. Thanks for the hearts. Was just how this technique can help to enhance. And this is something, just practice it, because don't feel intimidated by it. I want you to practice tonight. Practice on your own hand. Like really, like the palm of your hand is the best part to practice this. And then you can start to use this on your family members. Get out your reference guides so that you can see those charts. Let's see. Can you tell us a few main trigger points for this technique and what body systems they are good for? So Lisa, tell me what you mean by trigger points. So we use the vitaflex points on the feet, and so it would be any oil that you were wanting to introduce into a specific system, right? So without getting, this oil for this condition kind of thing, I think if there's an oil that you wanted to introduce into a particular system quickly, then I would vitaflex on the points of the feet or the hands that correspond with that. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand trigger points, but okay, did that answer it? All right. Hi, Caitlin. All right, well, I'll kind of hang out for a second if anybody has some questions, and then later when we're not live, if you've got questions, then please pop on and I'll come back and try to get the questions answered. If this has really like piqued your interest big time, you've got to take a care intensive seminar. It's 3 amazing days of information and your life will be changed. It's really quite phenomenal. So you can do this, you can learn at home for free in different ways, the resources I gave you, but if you really want to embrace this, then I think, consider the care intensives. Go to Care Center of Aromatherapy and Research Education, contact Christy Zittel, as she's a certified care instructor now, and that way you can get more information. All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me, and I hope you put your oils on tonight. Put oils on tonight, right now, before the night goes any further. Everyone had a busy day. Let's see, without doing... Sure, so you don't have to, this is right. Okay, so our oils work by themselves. They work no matter where you put them, okay? You can be more specific and use greater intent. I'm big on intent. Intent is huge. So you can enhance how those oils are going to work by putting them on the vitaflex points. That's like next step, right? So essential oils work, then you put them on vitaflex points, they're going to get there faster and quicker to that specific area. Then if we use vitaflex technique to create that stimulus and drive that electricity right up the nerve pathways through the vitaflex, then we're enhancing it even more. Does that make sense, Lisa? So it works, and don't be intimidated because you can't do this wrong. You can't undo the amazing oily goodness that is in these drops of love, right, from our plants. So it's just about enhancing it. And I'm a firm believer that intent and being specific matters. And so for me, this resonates really close to home, and I just love being very intentful with the application of the oils. Hi, Joshua. All right, well, give me a thumbs up if that helped, because I'm not in a rush, but I don't want to keep you guys if I've covered everything that you wanted to hear. All right. Have a great night. Get your oils, guys. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.